Well, here we find ourselves again in a very strange world doing extremely strange things. If you're feeling the energy I'm feeling, this has not been an easy week, and I refuse to become obsessed with the 3D circumstance. Today, I want to dive into illusion, spiritual warfare, and the energetic bondage that keeps humanity living inverted. Before we even get started in today's episode, I want to remind you of something your soul already knows. The only reason you're even seeing this episode out of the billions of videos on the internet is because your soul is wanting you to expand into higher forms of love. Your soul has been chosen to break free from the demonic bondage that has been placed on your lineage. The energetic enmeshment that has kept your lineage down in despair, into hatred, into codependency, into narcissism, whatever it may be for you, addiction. You are the soul that has been sent into this lineage to break the hold. And if you are to do this, you have to hear every word of this episode. You have to, instead of being furious about the world's events, you have to become curious about what's actually going on. Because let me tell you, things are much stranger than they seem. I have never heard the term I'm about to say, and I want to bring it to your attention today because this is what I'm seeing. Demonic enmeshment. Don't worry if that sounds like nothing to you just yet, because we're going to dive into it. I can't move through this reality and not talk about the things that are staring me in the face, meaning that murder that happened on a transit, meaning another school shooting, meaning that people are dying all over the planet for no good reason, meaning the murder of Charlie Kirk. I'm not just going to sit here and pretend like this is all not happening when now I'm seeing a common thread that needs to be spoken about. I see that a lot of people are trying to produce solutions that are worldly, to put it that way. Worldly solutions are not going to work for spiritual issues, for energetic problems. Once again, everyone seems to be so seduced by their 3D reality instead of acknowledging the law of correspondence, as above, so below. The things that we are seeing, the things that we are experiencing, this is not a 3D problem, this is a spiritual one. And until we can acknowledge that, I don't really see how anything could possibly change. The Bible tells us, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. We're going to talk about how you can protect yourself during this time, how you can protect yourself from these darker forces that do run rampant in this reality that we exist within, and how you can be in this world, but not of it. Before we get into it, what's up, positive bitches? How are you doing today? If you are hearing this episode, then you are meant to be here, so keep listening. On this podcast, sometimes we're going to laugh, other times we're going to cry, but we will always walk away feeling our most empowered, positive bitch self. That stands for babe in true connection with herself, himself, or human self. On this podcast, we unbecome who we are not, so we can fully step into exactly who we came here to be. And I'm just going to say in advance, I'm going to try to keep my emotions in check, but I'm feeling a lot of things happening right now. And before you say, oh, she's so empathetic, I'm actually not. What I am is human. And I frankly don't understand how people are not feeling anything. I actually don't understand how people are laughing and making light and making fun of people dying. That's not funny to me at all, actually. We are living inverted once again, blaming each other, hating each other. Like I said, laughing at a man dying instead of just seeing the truth and Quite honestly, it breaks my heart. I don't care where you stand in the political aisle. I don't care. I have friends that span, quite frankly, every single possible unique way a human can show up. I have friends that are straight, gay, bisexual, transgender. I have friends that are black, white, Asian. I have friends that are Jewish, Christian, Muslim. I have friends that span every possible thing you could be. I have a friend in that. And never once when they were speaking about what they believed, never once when they were speaking about their perspective, whether it was on war or religion or race, did I sit there and think that their opinion should give someone else permission to take their life. Never once did I think that their opinion should buy them a ticket out of this realm. We are very desensitized as human beings from video games, from movies, from our phones. There used to be a time where there were rules about what could be shown on a television set. There were rules about what could be in shows. Now, with phones, with social media, you could see someone dying, and then 5 minutes later, a video of a cat. And we're not meant to live like that. We're not meant to experience reality like that. Psychology research shows that repeated exposure to violent images can blunt our emotional response. This is a process called desensitization. Over time, this reduces empathy. We no longer have filters on what we're seeing. And it's causing a really negative impact on all of us. Our nervous systems have been trained to react with numbness, with laughter, with cruelty. I won't even watch the video of Charlie Kirk because I don't want that in my subconscious mind. I don't want to make myself so emotionally open to a demonic entity to attach onto me because of how it's going to make me feel. If you have not woken up and smelt the Matrix yet, it's only a matter of time. Let me just tell you. I don't know what it is about Charlie Kirk being murdered that is shifting something on the planet, but I can feel it. And this is not because I want something to shift. It's not because I desire something to shift. I'm simply relaying what I'm feeling as an intuitive guide and channel. In Irina's case, people have reported that the man who killed her was talking to himself. And afterwards, he called his sister and he said, I don't even know why I did what I did. I don't even know why I hurt someone. I didn't know her name. I didn't know who she was. I didn't even speak to her. This is not mental illness. This is spiritual warfare. And let me explain to you why that actually is, because most people are too afraid to say it or they don't believe that it's true. Again, the law of correspondence, as above, so below. Whether you want to look at energetic law or you want to look in the Bible, we are not fighting against flesh versus flesh. This war is happening in the spiritual realm. There are openings, invitation to lower vibrational entities or demonic entities, call it what you want, dark forces, I don't care. There are open invitations to these dark forces when you repeatedly drop down into lower vibrations of powerlessness, grief, anger. There are invitations to these demonic forces when you repeatedly watch violence. There are open invitations to these demonic forces to attach onto you when you're engaging with drugs, when you are not sober-minded, when you're just sleeping with anyone. These invitations allow any energy to attach onto you without your knowledge. These demonic entities, these lower vibrational forces, they are not your nice neighbor. They're not going to ask you if it's okay to come on in. They are thieves in the night, and they will rob you blind. They will rob you of your happiness. They will rob you of your joy. They will rob you of your discernment. And they will put you in dangerous situation after dangerous situation until you lose your life. I am not kidding you. What does a parasite do to its host over time? It ends the host's life. The law of correspondence shows us that every single layer of reality affects the next. So the energetic layers affect the physical ones and vice versa. Energy, demonic forces, these entities, once they attach onto you, of course they can cause physical, chemical imbalances within your brain. In my perspective, from my point of view, any mental illness is not just something that's happening in the brain. Yes, it is happening in the brain, but it's corresponding to an energetic influence on that human being. And that's what we just can't seem to understand. Why are people on medicine for the rest of their life? Why is it not curing them? Because there's an entity attached onto them. And this podcast is hard to record. It's a lot right now. You have to be so careful. I've seen what demonic entities on a person will do to them. They will lose their mind. Okay? Their voice changes. Their face changes. Their demeanor changes. This man who killed Irina on this train, that's not mental illness. That's demonic possession. And I don't know why that's so hard for people to believe. I don't know why people don't get it. These low vibrational influences translates into physical, chemical imbalances, heavy moods, intrusive thoughts, disconnection from the heart. Sometimes we go through something so traumatic that our vibration drops so low that in that moment we open up to a negative force and it's able to latch onto us. Or it can be over time dealing with a narcissist, repeatedly feeling not good enough, not safe enough, not pretty enough. Repeatedly stepping into that vibration can allow an entity to attach onto us. Watching porn on the internet can allow a demonic entity to attach onto you. It's through what you experience. It's through what you watch. It's through what you listen to. Music. Anything. It could be environment. You go to a place that has a lot of entities, and for whatever reason, you're open in that moment. You're never stuck. You can always remove these things, but you have to have knowledge of what's going on in order to remove it. But if you just think, oh, must be crazy. Oh, must have a physical, chemical imbalance, you're missing the mark. You're never going to get to the root. I am coining something called demonic enmeshment because that's what I'm seeing in today's world. In psychology, enmeshment describes a relational pattern where boundaries are blurred. People's identities, emotions, and choices become overly intertwined. Typical signs include blurred personal boundaries, it's hard to say no, chronic people-pleasing, repeating harmful relationship patterns, absorbing other people's moods as your own. Enmeshment is usually relational. We are enmeshed with one of our caregivers, meaning that we cannot say no to them. There's no boundaries. If they believe something, we also have to believe that same thing. We see our possible caregiver as not their own separate entity, their own person, but like our left arm, and they see us as their left leg. There's no distinction between child and caregiver because they are enmeshed. I'm coining the term demonic enmeshment to describe this, but from an energetic point of view. This is when lower vibrational entities or collective energies fuse with your field, amplifying shame, rage, numbness, or despair. This can look like your identity getting hijacked by outrage or hatred as a baseline, intrusive thoughts that feel foreign but steer your actions, group sinking into mass cruelty or viral mockery that feels contagious, trauma or repeated violent media exposure, opening doors for those energies to feed. Again, I want to say, I don't care where you land politically. I have seen too many people die on my phone, which is insane to say. And regardless of who they were, what they believed, what their circumstance was, I cried every single time. That's why I won't even watch the Charlie Kirk thing. I don't want to know. I don't want to see it. Not from my eyes. Okay? I don't want to open that door. Why is it that someone's reaction is to laugh? That's odd. That is not human. That shows me you are energetically enmeshed with a lower vibrational entity, that you are so in your thoughts of hatred, of outrage, of cruelty. You are so disconnected from your human heart that you don't even have free will anymore. You don't even know what you actually feel. You're not even embodied. You are so in another place, in another realm, being controlled by something else. And if you're not in control of yourself, what do you think is? What do you think is? A little elf? No. A lower vibrational entity. What oftentimes creates this opening for demonic enmeshment or lower vibrational enmeshment? Substance abuse. So if you're constantly using drugs, alcohol, this lowers your energetic boundaries, blunts discernment, and makes you porous. Violent or degrading media that normalizes cruelty, sinks your nervous system to low vibe frequencies. Stop watching. Just stop watching. You can be in the know, you can have knowledge, but stop watching. You don't need to see every video. You don't need to hear every single sound from every murder. Outrage rituals online, repeatedly sharing of fury or mockery that feeds your field, unresolved trauma and stress that repeatedly puts you into a lower vibrational state, toxic relational systems such as codependency, feeling like you're not your own adult, cult-like dynamics that sweeps groups into the same field, anyone who forces you to think the same or be the same, that's all going to put you into a lower vibration. And ultimately, that is what opens the door, as well as corn. Do you know what I'm saying? Put a P where the C is in corn, because that will also have detrimental effects, not just on your physical body, your nervous system, how you connect to others, but what you invite into your field. I want to remind you that you are never stuck. So if you're thinking I may have some sort of entity attached onto me, do not worry. You can remove these things, okay? The first thing you're going to do when these negative thoughts come up or those compulsions or urges, you're going to say, that is not me. I'm going to choose what feels in alignment with my heart, not my head. I'm going to choose what's in alignment with my heart, not my head. Because these lower vibrational entities, the way they play on you is your thoughts. They will have you thinking negative circumstance that then causes a biochemical reaction in your body where then you feel upset, you feel abandoned, you feel like you're not good enough, but it starts in your head. They play on your mind. That is why it says in the Bible, you gotta guard your mind. And that means staying sober-minded. That means guarding your eyes, not just watching anything. It means guarding your ears, not just listening to anything. I have had to tell people, you can't speak to me like that. And if they couldn't get it, then I had to cut them out of my life, because there was no way I was going to let another person, whether it is a family member or someone I was dating, put me into a state that's going to allow a lower vibrational entity to attach onto me. Now, don't be afraid and think, oh my God, I cried about an ex. Now I'm dropping in vibration and something's going to attach onto me. No. Just because you feel a lower vibrational emotion, feeling to heal it, that's completely different. That's alchemy. That's you shifting your state. You are feeling a negative experience in order to shift into a higher vibrational, happy experience. But when you repeatedly go into this state, when you repeatedly feel you're not good enough, when you repeatedly feel that you're never going to be chosen, that's when I know with my clients, oh, this is not them. This is an entity. So the way you're going to start to break this is say, no, 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 when a negative thought comes up. You're going to say, I'm not listening to that. I'm not going to listen to that entity. You have to start to distinguish what's yours versus the entity, instead of confusing the entity for your own thoughts, for your own truth. This entity that tells you you're not good enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not smart enough, that is not you. You are born confident and happy. Anything that deviates from that is either a learned behavior or an entity playing in your head. So you have to start to distinguish what is me, what is mine versus this entity. And when you hear that lower vibrational thought, instead of just listening to it and acting on it, you're going to say, that's not mine. I don't claim that. Instead, I'm going to choose to believe a higher vibrational thought that I am lovely. That even if I can't see it now, God, give me eyes to see my own precious self. Give me eyes to see that I am the treasure in myself. If you want to see yourself every single day in a golden bubble, if you want to see yourself ripping out cords from lower vibrational shadows, do what you need to do. You can even book a one-on-one session with me. I do something called energetic plucking, where we literally pluck off, like you would pluck a hair, these lower vibrational entities to set yourself free. You have to understand no one and nothing is more powerful than you in your reality. It's what you look at, what you listen to, that is what invites these things in. But you are the one inviting them in. You have to take your power back. You have to say, I'm not just going to listen to any video or any thought. I'm going to have critical thinking. I'm going to use my free will instead of being used by these entities. I am truly just so tired of seeing everyone fight politics. There are people dying across the world, across the board. This is not normal. Yeah, we're desensitized, but this is not normal. To not value human life like this is not normal. And the reason I don't usually talk about war or things like this is because I don't have a solution. I don't know. The only thing that I have a solution for is when you're personally getting intertwined with demonic or lower vibrational entities. That I can help you with. I don't know how to cure the war, but I have, on a 1-to-1 scale, you and me, that I can help you with. And if enough of us can do this, it can shift things energetically. But we have to start reclaiming our minds. We got to start reclaiming our bodies and our fields. And that is what I can offer. It's so important that we are having spiritual hygiene right now, and we're cleansing our energy, whether it's Palo Santo or just praying to God, or maybe going in the ocean, grounding ourselves, bare feet on the ground, having a community to talk to where you don't feel isolated, where you're not forced to think a certain way, and instead you can use critical thinking and you can be truthful with your thoughts. You're allowed to have thoughts. You're allowed to be wrong. You're allowed to be right. You're allowed to be different. You're allowed to think and feel differently than the person next to you. That shouldn't make you evil. That doesn't make you bad. Like I said before, I have people in my personal life that are everything. I mean everything. And I feel so honored. Like, I feel so blessed that I have people in my life that are different religions and races, and they have different expressions of their sexuality. I don't have to agree with them. In fact, I don't have to understand them. To be honest with you, don't understand my own mother, and you want me to understand someone who lives a completely different life than I do. I don't understand them, but I love them. I love them. They're human just like me. Why wouldn't I love my sister or my brother? Why would I hate them? Why would I wish them to die? That doesn't make sense to me. I feel honored that I could see a different perspective through their eyes. I feel lucky that I get to know what the world looks like from their perspective, even if I'll never understand it, because to be honest with you, I probably won't. This incarnation, I get to be this person. This is what I understand. I barely understand myself sometimes. So no, I'm not going to always understand. I'm not going to always agree. But I'm going to love them. Yeah. Because isn't that what we're supposed to be doing? I see what's happening in the world just as very unnatural, not just the killing, but the reactions to it. I don't get it. We came to planet Earth knowing the rules of this realm. Demons get to play in this realm. Lower vibrational entities get to play in this realm. That's the deal of duality. They, however, cannot feed on you when you choose to love your neighbor despite your differences. They cannot feed on you when you shut off the phone, when you go outside and ground yourself. They cannot feed on you when you are very, very discerned about what you allow yourself to see, listen to. They can't feed on you when you're in control of you. But the second you let your guard down and you're playing with drugs or you're playing with corn or you're just looking at people getting killed and then you're laughing at it or you're getting into groupthink and you're just allowing gang mentality to give you a high, okay, well, you just gave up your free will. Prepare for landing. When I think, what would a demon want from me? A demon would want separation. Oh, a demon would want me to hate my human neighbor. A demon would want me to jump on board and celebrate. I'm not doing that. Sorry, not going to do it. You don't have to like me. You don't have to agree with me. You can unfollow me. I don't care. I'm not going to lie to you about what's going on in this realm. It is what it is. What I just want to invite you to do is to focus on what lights you up, to focus on love, to focus on holding yourself up high, to focus on prayer, to focus on the positive thoughts, to focus on what you can do as an individual. Again, the reason I have not really spoken on war and such things is because I don't really know what to do as an individual to stop a war. Of course, I want all war to stop. I don't want anyone's life to be taken. These are innocent people because of these other people in power. Like, it's just, I can't even go in there right now because I will go insane on this podcast. But what we can do is take personal accountability, at least over our own vibration. What I can do is speak about the things that I know, the things that I've learned, and take accountability for at least this community. And please share your own perspective. I want you to feel like you have a safe space. If you don't like Charlie Kirk, you're allowed to say that. There are times where I listened to what he said and I was like, oh God, no. And I would turn it off. I was like, no, I don't agree with that. I don't have to agree with him to be emotionally affected by his death, because he's a father and a husband. And I always put myself in that person's shoes and I think, how would I feel? And that connects me to my humanness. This is not about Charlie Kirk or this girl Irina or any of this. This actually is about you. What are you going to feed? Are you going to feed these demonic entities and give them your power and give up your free will? Are you going to feed the thoughts? Are you going to let these thoughts control you? Or are you going to say, no, that is not me. I'm choosing to lead with love. No, that is not me. I'm connecting back to my soul. No, that is not me. I'm not just going to listen to what I've been told. I'm going to use critical thinking. Critical thinking is one of the best ways to release a demonic entity. They don't want you to think for yourself. They want to tell you who you are and what to believe. I was sitting on a plane coming back from California, and this young man comes rushing in, and I just know he's about to sit next to me. He does. And I hear him on the phone and he seems really anxious. So I say, are you okay? And he says no. And he told me that as a young man, he was taken advantage of at his temple. And now he has been living in Hollywood. And he says it's very dark. And that at these Hollywood parties, he would get really drunk trying to blur the visions of when he was a child and what happened at temple. But then what happened is he has just repeated his trauma, because now these men at these parties are taking advantage of him when he's blackout drunk. And he told me he feels powerless. He told me he has bad luck. He told me there's nothing he could do. And I said, stop. He was on his way to a rehab. And I said, listen to me right now. You are so young. You are only 23 years old. You have so much life ahead of you. You may have been victimized as a child. Yes, you were. That was evil and grotesque and disgusting. But as an adult, this subconscious urge, this compulsion to re-engage with the trauma you experienced as a child must stop. I told him, you get out of California and you never come back to this place. You go to rehab and you heal yourself. You have to break this bondage to this demonic entity that has control over you. And you have to set yourself free. The only person who can save you, it's not mommy, it's not daddy. So don't rely on their validation. It's you. You are the only one who can take accountability over your reality now. And I'm sorry, everything that has happened to you, I'm so sorry that happened to you. But you need to stand up for yourself now. You need to take responsibility over your life now. Because no one's forcing you to those parties. No one's forcing you to drink those bottles. No one's forcing you to black out. You're choosing that. Are you choosing that with your free will? I don't really think so. I think you're under demonic oppression. I think you have demonic enmeshment. And I told him that. And he goes, you believe that? And I said, yes, I do. He said, do you believe this is part of my bloodline? I said, yes, I do. And he said, do you think I can break this? I said, I know you can. In fact, you were chosen. If you are listening to this podcast, listen to me. Whatever you're going through, the addiction, the mental illness, the codependency, I don't care what they have told you. Psychology, frankly, has failed us. I don't care what you believe or what you think. I don't even care if you hate me. You can hate me and block me tomorrow. All I care is that you understand that if you're hearing these words, you are meant to break your lineage from the bondage to whatever entity that has got you in a chokehold. That's what I know. Because there's no conceivable way you'd be hearing me out of billions and billions of people, why for whatever reason you would find this. The only reason you're listening to this is because you have the power to break the bondage from this negative, low vibrational entity that has cost your lineage so much. It didn't start with you, and I'm sorry for what you have gone through, but it better end with you. Because if you have this information now and you don't do anything with it, you are choosing what you are not changing. You are choosing to feed a demonic entity. You are choosing to give up your free will. You are choosing to deny free choice. You are choosing to give this to your children. And I just know you didn't come here to do that. I just know that you're stronger than that. This man that was on the plane, he's so much stronger than what he believes himself to be. And sometimes it just takes someone telling us, reminding us of who we are to activate that within us. I did it for him and I'm going to do it for you. You better wake up. There is no time to waste hating people on the internet. There's no time to waste hating someone who's using their God-given right of free speech. There's no time to hate these people. Why are you hating them in the first place? You need to be asking yourself these questions. There are people I disagree with politically, and I don't hate them. I don't know them. Why would I hate them? I disagree with them. I think a lot of it is smoke and mirrors. I think they're selfish. Yeah. But what? I don't hate them. I think some of them are evil. Yeah. I use critical thinking. I use my mind. I'm not used by demonic entities. Every single circumstance that you have in your life is an invitation to either evolve or devolve. You can see everything happening and you can choose to devolve, to go into hatred, to make hate videos, to comment negative things, or you can choose to evolve. How do I take power at least over my own reality, over my own thoughts? How can I expand into my higher self, my desired self, instead of this version of me that wants to hate because it feels safe to be here? These anchors of density that are these demons, they come through as these negative thoughts, which then cause you to feel negative emotions, that then cause you to take negative action. It's a trickle-down effect. Thinking a hateful thought, feeling a hateful feeling, taking a hateful action. Every single moment, you can devolve or you can choose to evolve. You can broadcast fear, you can broadcast hate, or you can choose to broadcast love. You can choose to have free will, to be curious about, why is this happening? Maybe I need to learn more information. How can I at least safeguard my own vibration? Choose to evolve, at least for your own sake. Because again, it's not about Charlie Kirk. This is about you. Choose to evolve for your future bloodline, for your future moments, for your future in general. I'm heartbroken by the things that I've seen, but I'm not going to stay heartbroken. Instead, I'm transmuting this energy by teaching what's actually going on. I'm honoring my emotions, as we all must do, but I'm not going to stay here. I'm going to choose to love anyway. If you're triggered by these events, if you're triggered by this episode, don't just scroll and spiral. Stop feeding the entities that are controlling you. Pause. Breathe. Recognize that every thought is not you. Cleanse your energy. Have a bath. What brings you peace? What brings you joy? Go do that. Choose to be in service to other. Do something kind for another person. Every thought, every click, every share, it's a vote. Are you voting for the light or are you voting for the dark? Are you voting for love or are you voting for fear? That's the real war. And we're all on the battlefield. I love you so much. I hope that you choose what you know you have to choose. And I hope that you don't feel alone in this world, because you're truly not. I invite you to share how you're feeling in the comments. Let's have a community for one another. Let's share our thoughts, our feelings. This is a safe space. No one hate anyone else in the comments. I will just remove it. This is a space for you to just say how you feel. And it's okay to be angry. It's okay to disagree with someone. It's okay to not like them. But then you have to come back to your heart and remember they're human too. This is how we fight. Choosing free will, choosing to think critically, choosing to love. I will see you in the next one.